Hi everyone, today I'm going to discuss what class I think is going to be best for Season 2. I'm just going to do a quick summary of the current state of the game and which classes are more favourable. And we're going to have a look on maxroll.gg, which is highly regarded resource for everyone in the community, and they put a lot of effort in giving you guides on the different classes and everything, and I think it's a good place to start so we can get a jumping off point to where current state of all classes are. So if we have a look here, this is the end game tier list. So this is the ultimate goal of where you want your character to be at the end of the game. S tier, straight away, let's get into it. Twisting Blades Rogue, Flurry Rapid Fire Rogue, Barrage Rogue, Death Trap Rogue, Druid, and Bone Spear Necro. All S tiers. So going by this logic, Rogue and Druid have 4 S tier builds that they can make. That's crazy. Bone Spear Necro is absolutely unbelievable as well. Then when we come down a tier to the A tier, we've got more Necro, more Rogue. The only other Druids that aren't there are just down further because, well, you've got 4 already. Double Swing Barb, Whirlwind Barb are, with Barber they're probably S tier, but not really. Like they still need that seasonal mechanic to do anything. The Druid and the Rogue are just crazy good compared to the other classes. So in the current state of the game, resistances don't work at all. Nobody puts them on their gear. If you have a gear piece that has resistances on it, you're either trying to enchant it so that you can replace it with something that's better, or you're just trashing that piece of gear. So in Season 2, the classes are going to change up a little bit. 2 classes I think are going to be much more improved are Sorcerer and Necromancer. Their main stats are Intelligence. And why is this important? Well, if your character's main stat is Intelligence, then the more points that you have in Intelligence, the more their attack power is going to be, but also Intelligence governs how much bonus they're going to get to their resistances. In the current state of the game, this does not matter at all. But in Season 2, we've been told that resistances will be fixed. They will be working properly. So does this mean all of a sudden that intelligence-based classes should perform better? They should. Just at a base. And if Necromancer has already got an S tier class, an S tier build on max roll, I'm sure that 2 or 3 more are going to crop up just based on their main stat alone. So resistances should give, like, the 2 intelligence based classes seem to be the 2 kind of squishy classes. So Sorc and Necromancer are the 2 intelligence based classes. And if they get better defense just at a baseline, they are going to be far better as a class for anyone to pick. The next thing about having resistances fixed, it means that the gear pieces that we would usually trash, or the gear pieces that we would usually re-roll because they have resistances on them, maybe we would actually be looking for gear pieces with resistances. So then you have to think, okay, my usual vulnerable damage, critical strike chance, plus ranks 2 skills, etc. Maybe I have to take a hit on one of these because, I know I need to get my resistances up. I need to have 50% or 75%, like in other games, across the board on all resistances. So now, depending on what ring drops, maybe, this is a great ring, but it only has cold resist and fire resist, but I actually wanted lightning resist. Does itemization in the game become more difficult? Does it become better? Does it become worse? It's hard to say at this point. Also on the Paragon board, a lot of the resistance nodes that you would probably have been avoiding all this time, they may become useful on the Paragon board now, and maybe they're one of our main stats that we're looking for. We don't know yet. In Season 2, another characteristic which is said to be changing is vulnerable damage, overpower damage, and critical strike damage. There's going to be a rebalancing of these affixes. The emphasis here, I think, should be on overpower damage because generally underutilized, I think, except for one build in the whole game. If overpower damage comes online, then we may see a severe upgrade in the capabilities of Barbarian and Druid. I will actually see, I think maybe the Pulverized Druid may see a major upswing as well. So which classes do I think are going to be the best for Season 2? Well, I think Rogue is at such a good place right now that it's really hard to say that they won't still continue to compete against all the other classes for top of the pile. They're super quick, they deal serious damage, they can take a punch, they're really good. Rogue is probably one of the best classes in the early game. They come online super quick. They're probably only rivaled in the early game by Sork, and knowing that resistances are going to be fixed, Sork will most likely be the best 1 to 50 class to pick for your character for Season 2. Druid, if overpowered is changed and becomes more of a... if it becomes more of an option, maybe Druid even increases further in its potential. My prediction for the class lineup of Season 2 is going to be that Sork and Necromancer become, a lot of their builds will become S tier or A tier at a minimum. Rogue will most likely stay S tier for a couple of stuff, maybe some might drop down, and the same with Druid. And I think Barb is still in trouble. I don't know, maybe the vampiric powers might help. We don't know anything about these vampiric powers that are coming in Season 2 yet, so until we have more information we can't make a super accurate guess on what the kind of power rankings are going to be. But just based on overpower and resistances being fixed or changed, I think Sork and Necromancer are going to be the two best classes for Season 2, with Rogue trailing slightly behind and probably on par with Druid, and then Paddy last is going to be Barbarian as usual, and probably get a nerf as well for good measure. Do you think this power scaling is correct? Do you think Barbs are going to come all the way down to D tier? Do you think Sorks can rise all the way from C and B tier all the way up into S tier just because resistances have changed? Do you think this makes them more viable in the end game? Let me know in the comments below. This is just my thoughts on Season 2. Season 1 is it's done at this point. I think a lot of people have dropped off. Season 2 nearly needs to be moved up at this point, or else it's still another month and a half away before we even see Season 2, so some news needs to drop soon. Patch 1.1.4 looks like, okay, great, we get some more experience, but people aren't playing for the experience. They need something new, and this game is basically dead at the moment. I think someone said it has only 600 viewers on Twitch right now, which is crazy. But anyway, if you like and subscribe, that would really help, and thanks very much.